you should see my house right now, okay? So I'm gonna totally hook you up with sampling. If you have any questions, make sure to post below. Let me see if there's a way, because the last video I did, I could not see if you guys commented or anything. So I don't know if I'm supposed to do anything. Shoot. See anything? No, that's my... All right, so we're just gonna kind of go with this. And if I can't see you, I'm sorry. It's not that I'm ignoring you, but I couldn't see the last one. I'll have to figure it out. I'm on my iPad, so it's a little bit different than, you know, my phone. Like, I know how to work my phone, you know? So that's what I'll do is I'll like look at my phone if you guys talk, then I'll know if you have said anything. Okay, so let's get started. Sampling. Where do you start, right? So the 3 things that you have to do in this business and get used to loving it is IPing. All right, you'll hear that a lot. You'll know what that means very soon if you don't already. All right, but contacting, sampling, touches, and then following up. All right, so honestly, other than getting going with writing your list, which should start with 100 and then continue to grow. And I have on the pinned post a jogger to jog your memory from Eric Worre, who is phenomenal. But you're going to be working on your why and your list. So after that, your first kind of week, let's go. Let's create your first class. Let's, you know, get moving. I remember my upline, how we met and how I contacted her is a story in itself. Hey, Linda. But, okay, let me just tell you in short, she literally, I think it was like 2 weeks because she was getting ready to have a baby. And she was like, start your first class, invite, and of course I didn't want to be embarrassed. I didn't want to have her come all the way here from the Midwest and, you know, me not have anybody show up. And, you know, I had to learn how to invite really well, really quick, because it was all about, at that moment, pride for me, because I was not going to be embarrassed and not have people show up when she was flying out all this way and doing this for me. And in all honesty, that's how you want to think about every class. You have to nail your invite. If you don't, go stand in front of the mirror and nail it, nail it, nail it. Come get me. If you want to nail your invite, give me a call. Because if you can't nail your invite, you have no business, okay? And I talk to people about this all the time, and it is so, so, so crucial. There is, hi Anna, there is a video on it on Share Success, but in all honesty, how much better is it if you're anything like me? I'm like auditory, I'm like kinesthetic, auditory, visual, I gotta feel it, touch it, be a part of it, you know? And so when I teach people how to invite, it is with oomph and, you know, I'm very animated, my hands are everywhere and I'm talking to them. But you know what? That first class, I had a bunch of people there when Melina showed up and I had, you know, a really successful class. And, you know, I'm good at the invite because I learned from the beginning how to do it based off fear of not embarrassing myself, really, is the truth, you know? But especially if one of us leaders are coming to teach a class for you, you want to hold such importance and value to that class. And we can go into this in another time, but if you need help with your invite, you know, please nail one of us. Come get me. I will work with you, because if you don't nail your invite, there's going to be lots of issues following that and frustration that you really just don't need. So let's like bypass the frustration and just work on it together, because the thing with with doTERRA, and I'm getting off of sampling, I'm sorry, but I just want to tell you that you're going to fall on your face so many times, and it's not about how many times you fall on your face. It's about how many times you get back up. Because if you do that, you are going to be successful. If you nail your invite and practice and practice and practice, you're going to nail it. I started, and, you know, I wanted to do, you know, one-on-ones and that sort of thing. And you know, I didn't have as many classes. And I was doing one-on-ones every day, you know, and I was horrible. And I just started really evaluating each one-on-one. So afterwards, I would go through in my head and I'd write down everything that happened and why I felt it didn't work. And so the next time I would go and I would like not do certain things that I thought was hindering me so that I could do better. And each time I did that, I did better and better and better. But it didn't happen like that, you know? Teresa Harding has an amazing clothes. Melina has this rock star clothes that I use now all the time that's posted here on Team Elevate. But, you know, when you're talking to people and you're working with people and, you know, be open to not being perfect and be open to continuously being a sponge in this business. And you will go far, I promise, because you're just going to be learning and learning. And I mean, I pick, you know, I always said to myself, I'm going to pick someone diamond and above, their brains. And what did they do? How did they get successful? What were their pitfalls? What did the things that they really struggled with? You know, what did you do to get better at the things you struggled with? I mean, I picked brains. And the more I did that, the more I learned. And of course I made things my own. But I loved picking people's brains because it expanded mine. So do that always, okay? Be open, be okay with falling down 50 million times as long as you get back up, and get really good at the invite. Ipe, and you're gonna be amazing, okay? All right, so let's talk about sampling. All right, where do I start? Okay, where do you want to start? Storage, okay? You want to have really good storage. So this is, I got this at Costco, all right? And it has these little, I'm like a Costco freak, so you'll hear people joke about me with Costco and they're not kidding. Like, it's crazy, all right? So it has these little things and I have my little samples, all right? These are the 5/8 drams. I like these because the little ones, people didn't like them. And so that's what I went with. And they liked these because a lot of times I would fill it up with fractionated coconut oil and along with the oil, and they felt like they were getting more. Sometimes I don't fill it up, like I did a bunch of samples today, and I did my normal, okay? And can you see that? All right, and then I always put a nice little sticker on it, and so people know what they're getting, all right? And so then I have all my like stuff in here. So like I have my other storage. This is where I keep my roller balls. And then I have these little containers and I put all the roller ball tops, like, you know, the rollers. And then, and I have them labeled as to what roller tops. So this is the blue roller tops go with this. And then this one that's not goes with my 5 milliliter. So let's go over that. 10 milliliter roller ball, 5 milliliter roller ball, okay? So that's first and foremost, storage. I have like a storage for all my stickers. I got 50 million stickers and they're all mixed up, it's crazy. So I have the sticker book, you can get this at Oil Life. I have my stickers for, this is bed bugs and cleaning. So I always have my stickers. Look, I got stickers stuck to the stickers. So you want to have storage. You want to have your stuff in a place, an organization. All right. I have my plastic baggie. Ziplocs are awesome. So you know, can't say enough about Ziplocs. All right. So here, and again, if you're talking to me, I'm on my new iPad and I can't see anything. I'm sorry. So ask your questions. I'll see them after this. It'll kind of keep me not distracted too, I guess. Because then I'll get all into your comments and, you know, talking to you. So I get these at Walmart. They're like, I don't know, 100 or 400 or something for, I don't know, $2.96, $4.90, something like that. All right. So this is what I do. All right. I have a system. All right. So I do, and I don't have a lemon done yet. So let me make up a lemon real quick so that you guys can see exactly what I do. All right. So now I need the top part. Which is that? Here it is. Okay. So you saw me do the drops, and you put your little white part, and you push that down. All right, and then you put your top. Okay. So I did 16, 17 drops. All right. Sometimes I just do 15. I'm stingy with my really expensive oils. I don't really do those anyway as samples. And then I put my lemon sticker, all right, on here. All right, so that's kind of how you draw up the lemon. All right, so I have my lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Yep, that's how I give my samples. All right, so I have my peppermint, I have my lavender, and I have my lemon, okay? That's what I give at all times. I keep it non-complicated. I don't go into other oils. The only other extra oils that I will use and send as samples is Breathe, On Guard, and Balance. Sometimes Serenity, depending on what they're saying. All right, so if they're mentioning they're wanting help and support with anxiety or mood or whatever, then I'll give them some Balance, you know, if that's their kind of focus. But lavender does that too, you know, so sometimes I don't. It just really depends. You know, I kind of feel the person out, to be quite honest. So typically and Breathe if it's respiratory, if there's respiratory in there, but peppermint is also still good for that. And then On Guard if it's like an immunity thing that they're wanting to really target. So it just depends. So Breathe, On Guard, and Balance are kind of my extras, but my normal is lemon, lavender, peppermint. All right? And then I stick that in my baggie. All right? I'm going to show you exactly how this looks so you know exactly what to do. So you put your 15 to 17 drops. Honestly, I like it to look like that, so they feel like they're getting a little bit, you know, of oil. I mean, you want them to feel like they got a sample, but they don't feel like gypped, you know. So I kind of, you know, like I feel like this peppermint isn't as filled as it should be, so that's just FYI. So let's look at that. Hang on. All right, this one's a little bit more full. Let me look at this lavender. Okay. So do you see the difference? There's like a little bit of a difference. And so you kind of want to have it like this one, maybe a tad higher. It just depends, honestly. And to be honest, you could even fill it halfway and then fill the rest with fractionated coconut oil if you know that it's a person that's going to be using it on a child. I just made this up. I was actually talking about this in my last video. This is the Peaceful Child blend. I spoke with a lady who has 3 children on the spectrum, and, you know, I hook my autism mamas up. That's me. So I am giving her this roller ball so that she can use that on the kids so that she gets a peaceful night's sleep. You know, you guys are going to have a warm spot in your heart for certain things. Autism, special needs is mine. So I'm kind of hooking her up with this. Typically, I will never give a sample of a roller ball like this. And I did buy, just real quick, kind of getting off the subject, these tiny roller balls, and I'll tell you, I don't like them. My son had to push the little, see, it's the sample bottle, but it came with a roller, and my son had to push it down because it was so hard to push the roller into it, and when he pushed it, because I already tried, and it broke it. on the bottom. So he didn't even like bang it. He was just pushing it, and then it broke the bottom. So I don't suggest these. And it didn't have a good review either, so, you know, I'm kind of going to leave those alone. So let's go back to filling up our basket in our bag and doing that. So lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And then I'm going to grab my cards. So they get a card with lemon, lavender, and peppermint so they know what to do with their oil. All right, this is huge. All right, this is very important. If you don't have the cards, go get the cards because, you know, people need to know what they're doing with the oils, and A to Z guides don't do that. You know, A to Z guides tell you a generalistic view of what oils are used for, but they don't give you all that 411, you know, that you need on that specific oil. Okay, so I have a lavender. Let me see. I don't know if you can see it. Card, and it says, it even has T, I, and A, so topical, aromatic, and internal, and how you use it. And then I have a lemon card, and then I have a peppermint card. And you can get these, I'll have to just post the links below. All right, so I'll just do that. So I have my 3 lemon, lavender, and peppermint. And some people just do 2 samples. That's fine. I like doing the 3. I think the 3 are great for those seasonal threats, which is very big right now, and people have those issues in general. I feel like lemon they can put in their water. Peppermint's really good for, you know, head tension and, you know, temperature and, you know, tons of other things, upper respiratory. And then you have lavender that's, you know, kind of, you know, a support for bug bites and bee stings and skin conditions and, you know, calming and all this other stuff. So I feel like it just gives them, you know, a variety. And, you know, you don't want to be too stingy with the oils. It's okay to be stingy with your other oils, like frankincense I'm really stingy about. But you don't want to be too stingy because if they're not sampled, they're not touched, those 2 touches, I do 3, then they're not going to, you know, right away buy, you know, because they haven't had an experience. And, you know, we can tell our stories and, you know, other people can tell their stories, but if they don't have an experience, then it's really difficult. So when you sample, you know, first you contacted them, right? Or had a class or whatever you did. And then you sampled them and you contacted them because if you had a class, you should have already sampled them. So you contacted them, you said, hey, you know, I'm sending out a bunch of samples. I'll send you guys the script so you have it. And they get their samples, right? And you have already talked to them about their top 3 reasons to bring essential oils into their home and life. You've already, you know, just kind of broken the ice if you aren't really BFFs. And you've really, you know, created a conversation. And typically I send my script, which is, it's not really a script, it's just become natural now, which is, you know, hey, how are you? I've been meaning to get with you for so long now, but, you know, life is crazy and it happens. And, you know, I'm sorry about that, but I'm getting out a bunch of samples this week of essential oils. And if you're open, I would love to send you some samples and a really cool book. And typically people say, yeah, sure, you know. And then I'll say, oh, that's awesome. Can you send me your address? They'll send me their address. And then I'll say, let me ask you real quick, what would be the top 3 reasons you would bring essential oils and natural solutions into your home and life? And that gets them what? Talking. Yes, when people talk, they open up. And so the more they talk, the better, okay? So they'll typically, you know, sometimes they'll get back to me right away. Sometimes they won't because they're busy or, you know, life happens. And then, you know, they will tell me. And I'll already have had their, you know, I have their samples and their, you know, address and all that. But then they tell me that and we have more conversation. So before they get their oils, before they get their samples, we've connected. And that's important. This is a people business. You have to connect. And the other thing is I always schedule my follow-up call with them before their samples arrive. So in that same kind of conversation of connecting, I say, listen, we're going to be talking, you know, because I tell them I'm going to send them their samples, and then we'll talk next week. So, you know, I'm on a system. I told you, you know, create a system that works for you. So, you know, I text people and contact people, you know, a couple days during the week. I pick days that work for me, and they're not always the same 2 days, you know, or day. And I typically send out anywhere from 10 to 30 samples a week. Sometimes there's been more, but typically it's on average 10 to 30. And then I'm contacting that week, and so the people that receive their samples, then I'm following up with them, and then I'm getting 30 more people and sending out samples that following week, and then following up with those people. Does that make sense? So I have 30 people, just say 30 people, and then they get their samples, and then I send 30 more people, and I follow up with the people who just got their samples. And so I've just created this ongoing system for myself that it works out. And so I'm constantly connecting, I'm constantly enrolling, I'm constantly doing wellness consults that I do in groups now. And so it's become this system, and so it's not something I did in the beginning, and so that's now why I'm teaching it, because it's so much easier to create a system for yourself that works. So even if it's you want to get out 15 samples a week, and you just want to pick Sunday you contact as many people as you possibly can. I say 50. You know, it's not hard to copy and paste a text, you know? And then I never personalize them. And, you know, then my son's getting ready to walk in, so it's going to be loud for a second. And then what you want to do is you want to, okay, my battery's going to die. So what you want to do is you want to create that system. So contact, follow up, contact, follow up, contact, follow up, right? So you have a great system. So each month you have tons of samples going out. Each month you have a bunch of following up that you're doing, and each month you have lots of people getting going and onto classes, and you know, onto your, you know, our Facebook classes. Invite them. That's your 3 touches. So you have your sampling, you have your A to Z guide, and you have bringing them to classes, which is 3 touches. And so you're only supposed to do 2 touches. I do that extra third of educating them with the classes. And I've had people who sign up right away, and then I have people that it takes them a minute. It takes them a couple months. I've had people that I met at a vendor fair and they didn't even sign up till the next year. But I followed up with them all the time, and, you know, not every day or anything like that, but I followed up, and, you know, they knew I was consistent with them, you know, and they actually appreciated that in the end, you know. So this is what a samples look like: lemon, lavender, and peppermint. You got your cards, you have your samples, then you grab your A to Z guide, you stick it together, and then this is what I get: the 6x9, okay, folders. And so I have one already ready that's going to a lady, okay? And so the A to Z guide is already in there, so I'm just going to stick these samples in along with her roller that I'm getting to her. So you guys, the roller's extra, okay? So again, lemon, lavender, and peppermint with the cards. Oh, also on the back of your A to Z guides, you want to put these little labels, so I have my information on it. And so people never throw these A to Z guides away, and then it has my sticker information, because I don't give cards out all the time. You don't need to. So stick that A to Z guide in there, stick the 3 samples with the cards, and off it goes. There's your sample. So get them together each week, get them out, sample, 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 people, and those are your 2 touches. The 3rd touch is before they even get these samples, they've already been invited to class. So invite them to classes. The more they learn, the more their interest is piqued, and the more they want to learn, the more excited they are to get their samples, the more questions they ask. You get them enrolled, and you get to changing lives. I will talk to you guys soon.